amount of time, we have seen attacks start to build up more round wins compared to defense.
And I think that comes down to people getting comfortable in the way that they're going to counter some of the tricks that you're going to see on the defensive side. We've seen a lot of impact tricking on House historically, and that's just something that the attackers are trying to learn how to deal with now. So I think as Clubhouse develops as a map and as we develop through the meta that we're currently see more rounds shifting to as they get a better idea of how they want to defend, how they want to attack. Sorry, onto what is essentially, like you say, such a decided map. But we are going to be jumping into the ban phase now. We can see that PACT have banned out Maverick. Vitality have hit us with a Capital and an Echo ban, and it's got to be one of the two. It's surely got to be Maestro or Mirror coming in as the final defensive ban for PACT, and it will be the Mirror.
No surprise, really, in terms of the bans. Maybe the Capital is a bit of an interesting one. The only time I think I've ever really seen a Capital ban come in is specifically on a map like Border, where teams would specifically carry out a strategy for Capital. Maybe Oregon as well as one, but we never really see Oregon being played because it is a very linear map. There's not a lot of options. Teams don't like to play it that much as well. But certainly a map like Clubhouse, it does have its potentials in terms of stopping the bandit, and whenever Maverick is banned, that kind of would be your kind of go-to one. So I think a good counter ban from Vitality, knowing that PACT, you know, they can bring that particular operator, provides them some fragging power as well. The power is no gun to really turn your nose up at, has great damage per second. Overall, I think the bans are looking pretty standard.
Yeah, fairly standard bans, as you say. Maybe something that I would have expected to see would have been the Hibana ban. As we know, Hibana's got a lot of value in getting all the hatches open, but not something. Today, we've opted for the Maverick ban instead. And, you know, that's fine. Maverick has got a lot of uses, like you say. Getting through CCTV and catching walls can be good. Opening up the hatches himself to get a little bit of utility down. It's obviously more difficult to impact trick onto a Maverick. In fact, it is impossible. You can kind of just put that pressure from below the impact trick. But yeah, we'll see a Kaid roll, so that's going to make holding the hatch that a little bit easier, I think, in the opening round downstairs on Armory and Church.
Quite interestingly, we're going to see Sneaky going with the Sophia LMG, a gun that we never really see on this operator. A lot of people prefer that M672. Maybe it's a personal preference. It's not the first time we've seen players take LMGs and operators. I can think back to Necrox on Capital LMG. That's something that he ran religiously. It's a bit strange seeing it really on the Sophia, because that Sophia main rifle is really strong, has great damage per second, minimal recoil. It's such a good gun to have, and I'm quite surprised why he switched out for the LMG.
It definitely is. I mean, like you say, the LMG is a great weapon. One of my favorite sayings is, "Who needs more accuracy? You just need more." And if you're going to bring the LMG, you're going to have plenty of bullets to chew through. Pierce Primary is very strong, and there's certainly no reason why you won't bring it. But I think if you're going to be getting yourselves into back-to-back engagements, maybe that's something that Sneaky's thinking about. He's thinking if you end up dropping on the side in the final few seconds, you perhaps want the ability to be able to hold mouse one down and start to spray. And maybe that's what we're going to see coming out as we move on.
So Paul will start to play on that trusty buck that we know he likes to play quite a bit. That main buck, certainly on a map like Clubhouse. A lot of advantages bringing that soft breach. One, you can open up that entire B ball site just on top of the kitchen, get any pesky roamers and pulse Valkyrie players that we know love to sit and try and C4 an enemy. Going into Vitality, they will start to make their beachhead. This is pretty common for Vitality. They like to take from the triple wall. That's why they bring both hard breachers to do that. They also have Sneaky playing as that kind of lone attacker. He looks for an opening. I think he judges it quite well in terms of when to push and when not to. Maybe we'll get this evening or he will fall, and that's going to be the Kaid off the board. Doesn't really make an impact, as we know those hatches have been open. But really, for Vitality, hatches are not the name of the game. It's the triple wall they want to go for, as they will start to begin open up that church.
Ball now just making a small rotate over, maybe looking to drop down into oil pit or blue. Plenty of claymores coming out from Vitality as well. They're certainly not going to find themselves getting flanked. Brit is getting the diffuser down as Optic just goes down and is finished off, in fact, by B. 5 versus 3 now with the plan down. Sneaky coming in with a quick kill of his own. 5 versus 1. It's all down to there. Does remove the ability for Vitality to get a flawless round in picking up Sneaky, but it will be an impactless kill nonetheless as Bibu cleans things up. First round going to Vitality.
That is just principal Vitality. That's what we see from them week in, week out. That checklist has been ticked off, make everything work. I love the way that they're using those Habana feet holes just as another option. It means that from the staircase you cannot be killed from the main corridor. It gives you a bit of a blind spot. Nobody can then play inside of that bomb site. It's a simple walk in for the Thermite, goes to the plant. That's the round over pretty much. So, PACT, in terms of the adaptability, I don't think they were quick enough on the rotation. Sure, Vitality, they held it down well. I'm quite surprised that we didn't really see, Kaid come over and potentially try and bandit trick the triple church wall, because that's another option that is completely viable. It would have stopped those Habana holes being made. As an operator that, yes, we know is new, teams are still trying to feel their way around. But for the most part, on this map particularly, this is kind of where you would expect Kaid to excel. There's multiple hacks that he can electrocute walls. So much stuff that he can use those electroclaws for.
And the fact that he gets impacts as one of his secondaries is even better as well, because then you have the ability to impact trick with him, so you can replace one of the electric claws, eat up a Thatcher grenade if it's Thatcher that's going to try and disable that, and then before you know where you are, you've got another electric claw to try and throw on it. Alternatively, if you're in a position to impact trick one of the hatches, you can do that as well. So yeah, Kaid is he's got a lot of value downstairs on Church and Arsenal. He's still got a bit of value on CCTV, to be fair, because there is the potential to impact trick onto the wall between Garage and CCTV if that's something that you want to try and hold as a defender. It's not something that we see all too often. Often a more of an extended hold into Garage is more advisable, and I think that could be perhaps where Deep is looking to play. But what about that for an opening frag? Perfectly reading where Paul is going to be coming in, just trying to sneak his way through Dirt Tunnel and on through Arsenal. But the Jaeger is going to be able to pick that kill with ease and find himself back in the fight. Vitality nowhere near close enough to trading out that one.
That does put a bit of a wrench in the works for the players of Vitality. That's their soft destruction gone. That's the man who would have went over and stopped Optic from going for the bandit trick. So you'll have to use alternative methods. The only one I can really see that they would go for is Ever, Habana, and Thermite both put their hard breach on at the same time. That means Bandit has a 50-50 on what one he goes for. Or else he tries to sneaky below and open up from below with that Sophia charge. However, or he may be looking for the Habana we know is quite crucial. He's going to go for the drone, and will he spawn him in time? No! Or he wins that engagement, maybe falls, and it goes into a 3 versus 5. However, Spark will be trying his best to find something from the repelling window. It actually takes some damage for himself, but has managed to find the down. Could we see someone from PACT over and support the Jaeger? Maybe Deep could go for a rotate, has that stim pistol. Drop down oil pit potentially. There's options here for the players of PACT, but they're going to be holding it strong, sticking it. And they're just going to be waiting their time, because of course we know the damage has been done.
It really has, and this has put Vitality in a very sticky situation indeed. Sneaky does trade out the kill onto all, but it is very late. The wall hasn't been opened. We're nearly 2 minutes into the round now. Sneaky is located very good. He's underneath. He's going to be able to try and stop the bandit from being able to trick. But with how long the wall has been able to be closed for, I think that it's put PACT in a very good position. He's ready on the top of the stairs, just waiting for Zafir to peek around that corner and to try and root out the bandit. So even now, the floor has been open. The bandit's still got the ability to sit and trick because of the support that he's seeing from his friend Doc on the stairs. Doc also making sure he's getting good use out of the stim. Another kill is going to come through for PACT. Traded out instantly by Brit. 2 versus 3 with 30 seconds left. I think that Vitality are going to have to start going for some kills now, as it doesn't look like they're going to get the diffuser down, especially with smoke still on the board.
Even having Deep as a Doc, that's going to be another ACOG that they have to worry about. I'm sure that he's probably lurking, holding an angle, has those stim pistols to stim up any of his teammates or himself to try and win that gunfight with an extra 40 HP in the gunfight. Brave will start to move in, and while we will see the cover come in from Spark, those Thermite and those smoke casters will come in with a big play. However, Spark and Brit have managed to pull it back, and now it's PACT in the rough position, and well, out of nowhere, Vitality, Weak, Spark, and Thermite just utterly decimate these final remaining defenders. I have to say, a big throw from the players of PACT.
That's something that PACT are going to be really, really kicking themselves for. They were in a perfect position to win that round. And I just think in the final few seconds, they played it too passively. They were peeking onto things that they weren't necessarily had any business peeking onto. They perhaps should have found themselves in more powerful positions and held angles onto the breach so that it really forced Vitality to shoot the way in. As it stood, Vitality were able to just walk right into the bomb site and get the kills as they came through and as they presented themselves. And that's what makes Vitality a very good team, is that there's absolutely no flustering on the players, even in those final few seconds. We talk about it all the time. They're very, very used, very comfortable using every single second in the round. We saw it then perfectly. There was only, I think, 30 seconds left on the clock at the time they started to push in, you know, and then they still came out with the win. So very good round there for Vitality. I think they'll be happy with that one.
Razor wire ready. ATS active in this sector.
We head back to a catch room defense for PACT. Or we have to commend him for his commitment to actually going for that roam game. Quite a risky business to be doing against a team like Vitality, who we know have fraggers for themselves. But this for this occasion anyway, we're actually going to be seeing the players of Team Vitality pick up a Nomad for the first time inside of this matchup. They have scrapped the Havana. They have only went for just the one hard breach, which that's very risky for Team Vitality, especially whenever that bottom floor was still an option for PACT. They could have went down there. You're certainly limited yourself to those downstairs attacks if you do not bring both hard breaks. That's sometimes why we even see a Thermite being banned or a Havana being banned on a map like Clubhouse, because there is so much hard breach that you really excel with in terms of your attacking capabilities.
Certainly. I just want to go back to that last round ever so briefly. You can see now that Qual is doing a very, very thorough roaming clear with his drone, just making sure there's going to be absolutely nobody playing downstairs in Arsenal, as Aura there was able to get a really good early advantage for PACT. And I think had they played with a little bit more aggression, they would have perhaps looked better at winning that round. But we can see a lot of drone work going on from the players in Vitality. They're really wanting to make sure they are safe to operate downstairs. We are over a minute into the round already, and still no entry on into the building. And, you know, no pressure being put onto the wall. Deep is going to open things up, putting that Doc ACOG to very good use, taking out the Nomad. So rotations are plenty in the latter half of this round for PACT.
Biggie outside with that LMG, still going with it. I'm still waiting to see if he can make something work with that 150 block magazine, and maybe looking to try and challenge on to potentially two players of PACT. You can see that Jaeger and Bandit are both roaming in towards that mid floor. Deep also trying to get a little bit frisky for himself, and will take a hefty amount of damage, but of course he has a dock, he can stem himself back up. Christmas from the flooring he has made just above that lounge area has got one kill for his troubles. So it leaves Vitality inside of a 3 versus 5. At this stage, you're kind of thinking, oh, well, PACT, this should be a closeout round. Not for Team Vitality. We just seen that last round. Even whenever they have that deficit, they can still pull it back. They did this exact same thing last round, where it was, again, a 5 versus 3 at a stage for Vitality. They pulled it back, managed to make things work. But time is starting to tick down whenever, you know, Vitality, they play for time. Christmas has not used any of those toxic babes yet. So this is actually looking like a pretty good round for PACT.
Got Jaeger on the flank through master bedroom now. He could have some success if he looks to play onto the windows, as Sneaky is trying to deter the Bandit from being able to trick. You can hear the EMP come through from Thatcher. The fears don't detonate instantly. That's probably isn't on the wall. Jaeger there, perfectly placed to get the kill onto Sneaky outside of the balcony. Spark grabs one of his own first, however. Optic trading as well. All now is left down to Brid, and I think at this point you've got to be thinking this is going to be the first round on the board for PACT. It is. We're going to see a run out from the bottom of Garage, taking out the Thermite, and I think that that's exactly how they envisioned the previous round going, but they did a very good job of picking this one up nonetheless. PACT capitalizing on the mistakes there from Team Vitality, and I think we've just not seen enough sort of decisiveness from Team Vitality yet. They've been taking a lot of time to drone things out and still not being able to get those trades.
It just seems to be the roam game from PACT have been really, really strong. You have to commend them for it. But of course, it is a top floor defense. You do expect some roamers because you have that entire bottom floor to prowl around. You have different rotations. You can even make, you know, you send a vigil downstairs, for example. He has impact A's, can use it as a bit of a maze tool to kind of lure some of the players of Vitality into that. Or you can use it as a quick escape. There is options here for PACT in terms of their roam game, but they will head back to Church, which we know has much more of a constrictive roam game. You can't really roam as strong as what you can on a top floor, simply because any of the supporting anchors who could potentially, you know, help, like we seen in that last round. It was an upstairs defense, roamers, one inside of lounge. We seen Doc support from the main stairs because it's so easy for him to simply rotate back and he's safe on bomb again. But for a map, or not a map, a bomb site like Church and Arsenal, typically those rotations are cut off very quickly by attackers. You don't have that same retake and that quick lone roamer who can potentially try and help your other roamers. It does kind of constrict the way that I think this entire bomb site is played, where you literally have to 5-man anchor and just, again, we come back to that, a bloodbath at the end of every round.
And the 5-man anchoring isn't always a bad thing, because there's some very good angles that you can establish as a defender downstairs in Church or Arsenal, or indeed in Blue. There's some really, really powerful positions, and it's just about having the patience to hold those. And it all depends on how much utility the attackers have got left available before they actually start to, you know, come into those lines of sight. And if they've got things that they're going to be able to root you out with, it is going to be difficult to hold them. You know, it isn't usual to see a roamer on this objective. Often you'll get somebody playing at the top of main stairs just for the first couple of seconds of the round, maybe try and get a couple of drones, perhaps a very cheeky pick, but they're going to be really trying to play for the life because they know that the trades are going to be coming through in the final 100 seconds. Just something I want to touch on from the previous 2 rounds. The first picks that have been coming out from PACT have been very, very good indeed. You can't always get to choose who it is that you are going to get the first pick onto, but they've managed to take out the Buck and the Nomad in the previous 2 rounds as first bloods. They've been really, really good picks for PACT, and I think that if they can continue getting that first blood advantage without having to trade it out, it could be set to take a couple of rounds, or a couple more rounds, should I say, this evening, as it does seem as though Vitality are just being a little bit careless with a few of the things that they are doing so far.
Deployed nitro. Launching drone. Nitro detonated.
So we can see that, as predicted, we are seeing a pretty slow push coming through from Vitality. They aren't going to want to make too many mistakes in this round, purely because this is a must-win round. They need to be coming out on Clubhouse with a good few wins on attack. And that's going to make their job when it comes on to defense that much easier, because, as we've said, Clubhouse can be a little bit more defensive sided.
It's weird. It is weird.
In position.
You know, like we've kind of seen.
Stay back.
I like this, but again, coming back to it, I've seen this kind of meta shift where attackers on Clubhouse have looked so dominant and so strong. Maybe it's because the way the bans have went. I know the last time I cast at Clubhouse, we did see a Thermite ban, which that kind of limits you in terms of what you can open up. It was only a ban if you were chosen. That could be another reason. Actually, wait, let me go back on that. So as I defender side it, and looking at the way that I think PACT handled it quite well in terms of, you know, some of the bans, for example, you know, we're seeing Echo being banned out, another very strong operator. But they haven't really taken to the Maestro all too much, which I'm quite surprised about as well. Maestro, another strong operator. We know how good he is with that LMG. He can play CQB if he wants to. Has a lot of rounds. You can pre-fire for days. But instead, they've chosen another free armor. It's going to be the Kite, who has using... Oh, no, unfortunate, you have to say, for D. He hasn't been using those electroclaws as efficiently as what he should, and it has certainly cost his team that round. A flawless from Vitality. Well... That sniper shotgun, not looking too strong.
It's a high risk, high reward weapon. You know, you've got to be hitting your shots with it. You've got to be getting your headshots. If not, you've got to be able to put 2 quick shots into the body. It's very difficult. I think that's one of the nice balancing things about Cade, is because his SMG is rather weak. The shotgun is the, you know, more popular pick for a lot of people, but you've got to be able to hit your shots with it. Somebody dropping down oil pit, it's going to be a tricky shot to pull off every single time, but just as you were, sorry, talking about the Maestro pick, we're going to actually see it 6 picked off, which is a little bit of a shame indeed. Vitality, they're doing very well on another Armory attack. The first round that we saw, we did see PACT going down to Armory, and it was almost a flawless round coming out from Vitality, just one impactless kill right at the very end. But then again, a very, very good round from Vitality, and I'm not sure what it is about PACT, but they just don't seem to be able to win the gunfights, which seems strange because as attackers, attacking onto Church and Arsenal, you're going to be expecting to put yourself in some, pretty tricky gunfights and some pretty situations to try and come out winning them. So Vitality been, doing a great job of being able to win all of the gunfights attacking onto that bomb site.
One big thing for PACT, which they are lacking big time, and that's intel. For example, you look at this 5-man lineup. Where's your intel operator? You look at their last one. Where was their intel operator? Sure, Mira and Echo were banned. What do both those operators bring? Intel. What other operators are available? Maestro, cameras, intel. Pulse, cardiac scanner, can see people through walls. Intel, Valkyrie cameras, literally gives you an extra 3 sets of cameras where you can put anywhere on the map. Intel. This is a big thing for PACT that you need to realize. Vitality, you need to figure out where Vitality is coming from. That's the first thing. You need to figure out what people are doing where. I think PACT has a very strange way in how he kind of goes around that kind of lone attacker role. He does never go to the same place twice. He always is changing up. For example, we've seen someone drop oil pick compared to the first round where he just held an angle from blue. That's the kind of things that if there was a Pulse or even a Valkyrie camera instead of Garage, that would have helped them a butt ton coming into it.
I'm not sure if BB's trying to bait somebody out into his air jab here as Nomad, but I'm almost certain that the defenders playing inside of Cash will have heard that Nomad go out, and they're going to be very skeptical about making any sort of rotation on through. Not a lot gone on so far in the first sort of half of the round. We've got Christmas here has taken a good bit of damage. The ball is now going to be left to try and get rid of the castle barricade that is protecting Optic on the bandit trick. Sophia's lifeline comes through as well, and that's going to do all it needs to push Optic off at half health, no less, allowing Britain to for. Maybe would have liked to have seen it open a little bit sooner, but you could see the teamwork coming through when it did happen, and sometimes that can take a couple of seconds to execute as well. You're not going to want to try and lose anybody in the process of doing so. Spark now looking like he's going to make his way on to try and pressure onto main stairs. We do have somebody playing those main stairs. Smoke with a shotgun. He's hiding out in the bathroom behind only one reinforced wall.
In general, this is basically what we've seen Vitality do time and time again. They open up Jacuzzi wall, they play the windows quite heavily sneaky. He picks up the first kill for himself onto the Legion, so the goo mines that have been scattered, they will be stuck. This is excellent, I think, from Vitality. A lot of teams at this stage, or maybe the first stage before they went over and opened up Jacuzzi, they would have their Thermite come over and open up that cache wall. Because, sure, they maybe want to try and take that position for themselves to create a beachhead and kind of then suck all of the life. That's not how Vitality play. They play very slow, methodical. They take only what they want. And as you can see, it's working a charm. The lone push comes in. They weren't expecting someone else to be sat over there. So whenever Legion tried to go for the punch in the window to try and get 2 kills on the balcony, doesn't work out. Very smartly played from Vitality. It's worked a charm. That signature push where they all walk in at once. They go 1, 2, 3, drop. Or push, and that's them in. So it leaves Optic inside of a 1 versus 4. Diffuser's been planted. This is going to go no other way but a Vitality win. And well, PACT just lacking that little bit of intel, like I said. If they had known where each of the players are, like for example, they can have a Valkyrie camera looking out over towards that B balcony, seeing, oh, look, there's 4 people ready to push in. Where's the last guy? Probably holding the other people inside of the off-site hold. A lot of things that PACT can really do differently, and Vitality, we've explained this so many times, they will punish mistakes.
It's not only punishing mistakes, they'll just punish you in general. You made a great comment there, and it's that they just take what they need. The way that they executed that was perfect. They knew that they were going to start playing from the windows, so they needed to get CCTV control. Nomad was able to do that with a breaching charge opening up East Wall because it wasn't reinforced. Often you'll see teams reinforce that just to try and hold on to CCTV for a little bit longer because it is a power position to attack onto any attackers playing on the windows. But leaving the wall soft, Nomad can open it up And not only that, she can put an air jab down as well, which is going to deter defenders from rotating in. There was no rotate in the soft wall between Cash and Cash stairs, making it very difficult for PACT to actually get out of that room and to make a rotation onto the Nomad effectively. As soon as that was done, wall could be opened because the grenade from Buck and the lifeline from Spear were able to come through J window, removing Bandit from being able to Bandit trick. Thermite can open the wall and collapse onto site. It was perfect. Kills were coming through and Vitality did a great job. It's a great push, but it's very, very counterable as a defender. And as you say, information. I don't mind the dock pick on this objective purely because you can play dock off the catwalk with an ADS, try and keep himself alive from grenades. He can stim himself up if he does get downed. It's a good pick. Legion's been brought every single round. Legion's got a lot of value, especially with the new resetting parameters only coming back to 20 health. It only takes a couple of Legions if you've been down to be out of the fight. But I'd love to see the Maestro. There's a reason why Maestro sees such a high ban rate, and it is the Evil Eyes, and it is because of that Olga.
I agree with the Legion being a good strong pick, especially against a team like Vitality, who we know push in from potentially 3 different ways at once. Mark. Those Goo mines could come in really big. For example, if it is trying to push in towards the bomb site at 0.02 seconds. Oh, Goo mine, you don't have enough time to plant the diffuser. So that's another reason why I like Legion pick against Vitality. But then there's also the whole argument, where's your Maestro? You know, I come back to it, that triple death of operators, Mira, Echo, Maestro. If one's available, you pick it all day of the week. But they're not doing that, especially on this bomb site, where again, you want that intel for that final plant. It would be a no-brainer in my books.
Really would. Vitality have managed to make themselves, well, they've got themselves into the bottom of the lounge, and this isn't something that they've been able to do in previous rounds successfully without losing one of their operators. So to be able to have Nomad to watch the flying and actually getting and open up that floor to remove Bandit from tricking is something that Vitality are going to be very proud of themselves for. At this point in time, the shots come in, maybe not have to challenge that angle downstairs. The MP grenades are going to come through very shortly, I'm sure. That is going to spell disaster for the defenders on PACT. The wall will almost certainly get Nomad through the floor there. You'll love to see it. It's going to push smoke off from being able to challenge that angle. And well, the wall has been opened. A little bit later maybe than Vitality would like, but it is going to be open nonetheless. Deep is going to be allowed to stim up his remaining defenders. And that is going to help when the final fight comes through. But this is a dangerous position now for PACT to be in. Usually they found themselves at this point in the round on this objective having a man advantage or a couple of man advantage. But going up against the full force of 5 members of Vitality is going to be very difficult for them indeed. Qual opens things up with a grenade kill over onto Darius. Not sure if he was playing down inside of Oil Pit or not. Oh no, up on the garage catwalk it seems. Waiting there and trying to hold on to garage for as long as humanly possible. With 30 seconds left, the kills are going to have to start coming through very shortly for Vitality.
Device is going dark.
Paul will start to make his approach upstairs, and well, Brid ready on the queue from his other players to start going for plant. Possibly thinking maybe a default Maestro camera, as that would typically be the positioning, but as we know, actually no interest in taking that operator. He will start to move in for the plant, will start to get tagged up, and that Goo mine will combo excellent with the Toxic Phase. That's a dead Thermite. Dead, but actually, there we go. Finally, Aura jumps in the window, and the defuse is actually going to be kicked up into 2 versus 2. Qual will cover Spark as he begins that defuse. However, Optic finds one. This should be the easy claim from PACT. Yes, it is. And well, PACT. Excellent retake. Those Goo mines. Those Goo mines.
It's almost Caster's Curse when you question one of the operators and it ends up being the operator that actually wins out the round. You could see the true power there of the Goo mines and smoke canister combination. Smokes perfectly placed, perfectly timed, able to get a good couple of points of damage and a kill, in fact, onto Brid. Now it is time for the turn of the tide, however, and we are going to be seeing Vitality going on to defense. And PACT, they're going to show us what they've got on attack. We're going to be going down to a church and arsenal. And well, Demo, you asked for more information, and Qual is going to bring it for you. We're going to see the Valkyrie pick for the first time this evening. And I think that could just give Vitality the edge on these opening rounds. As we have seen this evening so far, Church and Arsenal has been largely attacker-sided. I think we've seen it played twice and seen 2 Vitality wins on there so far. I think the information could be the differentiating factor here between Vitality and PACT.
You will see very early on the difference in terms of the positioning, I think, for Team Vitality. Look at PACT in their church. There is nobody who was in a good position to at least stop their run-ins. For example, if you had a pulse playing inside of that kitchen area, you would have seen all of the intel. You would know, okay, there's 3 people outside the breach. Someone get ready to stop that. That's what it's all about, is the call-outs, the timings you need to have together. Vitality have that. They have some form of intel. They have the Valkyrie. We can see one of those potentially being placed inside of Memorial. So if a triple wall push wants to come in from the players of PACT, which, looking at the way they've got the Thermite, that screams to me, yes, they will go for that push. Overall, Vitality, they will be able to hunker down this defense quite well. And another thing you have to keep in mind for Vitality, they're also looking to play aggressive with those Valkyrie cameras. Legion on his phone, looking for that Valkyrie camera being placed inside of that bar. This is what Vitality are about. Yes, they play it well in terms of how you should play Clubhouse, but they do things differently compared to PACT.
Moving into the round now, we can see that Christmas is looking to make his way in over on gym and bedroom side, just making sure he's got a thorough drone game going on for himself. Make sure there's nobody on Vitality that could just be hiding around the corner. I think he might have to open the wall a bit more. No, it's going to be all right for a vault. It did look a little bit small at the time, but he's going to be able to drone himself in, keep his drone alive, and move on to getting open up some flooring. He's going to be open to the bottom of the main stairs and kitchen, no doubt. I don't think that we've got anybody on Vitality that's on the roam at current, as despite those sort of aggressive battles that we did see, making much use of them in the early round, we're going to look to in the later round if we want to try and block some sort of later rotate.
Buck will start to do what Buck does best, and that is rip up every single bit of wood he can find. He is a Canadian after all, he really like cutting down trees.
I think that's a fair assumption.
That's the correct assumption, you know? Did we just assume Canadians work do that? We might have.
He has got the lumberjack outfit though. I think it does tie.
I think it makes sense. I think that Rainbow6 wanted us to make that joke because they literally had brought out a skin to have that significance that yes, he is actually Canadian. Still waiting for that Intero Buck cosplay. Make it happen. Like we cannot dress Milosh up and then not do it to an character. It could be Ash. Maybe. He has the ponytail for it. We move in, and it will be the final 30 seconds mark. Not much has happened except for a frag coming in from Bibi, but aggressive and managed to find the peak. This is just what we embody for a map like Clubhouse. This is what it's supposed to be. Very slow, methodical. That bloodbath we always talk about happens in those last couple of seconds. Bibi is on the deep. That will be that Thatcher gone, and the bandit gets down on the process. However, Optic is there. One kill on the that does shut down that Legion, and or he just goes straight for it, but the crew's not going to be there. Ball playing in blue will clean up house with a double. Spark finds Optic as well, lands one on top of his head, and well, that's going to be a very solid round from the players of Vitality.
Starting things off as they mean to go on, I guess. Vitality doing a great job on their first defensive round, but I think you can't really argue with a hold like that. That's how PACT really should have been looking to hold on their rounds on side of Armory. Vitality have put themselves in a very good position now to be able to try and close out this series. 5 rounds to 2, we are going to see them choose to go up to CCTV room and cash. We do have the Maestro pick, which we were asking for earlier as well. Looking to the other side of PACT, I think they could have done differently last round. It did seem as though we were all sort of pushing in one at a time, stacking up on doorways and making themselves pretty easy targets for the players of Vitality. Maybe not working off as much information as they could have done. I do think the Vitality were doing a great job of shutting down the drones as they were coming through. So maybe not so much information on the side of PACT last round, and I think that could have been a pretty big downfall. But Vitality played it exceptionally well, not over peaking, and making sure that they were all alive in those final few seconds to execute onto the kills. Moving into round number 8 now, we're going to be looking towards CCTV room and cache. This is somewhere that PACT did a very good job of defending. The rounds, I think they won 2 rounds upstairs. They won 2 rounds upstairs defending here, and they came very close to winning a 3rd as well. It did come down to a great play from a couple of the Vitality members who were able to clutch out that round. But overall, PACT were very good at defending inside of cache and CCTV. So let's see what they've got for us on their turn to attack it. I'm sure that they've got something to show us, because this has become one of the more interesting bomb sites in Rainbow at the moment, just because of how many different ways there are to hold it.
I have seen teams open up that wall and balcony, then they've kind of done that bait and switch where then they rotate and go for a construction push. That's something I love with this bomb site, that you can one section off an entire portion of one of the bomb sites, and then rotate around and sanction off the entire of the other. So you're literally forcing the defenders into a position where they can no longer hold the bombs. There's only one position that I think is very crucial if you want to go for that push you need to take, and that's catwalk for me. If you take catwalk, that's a cinch. You literally force everyone onto blue stairs, which isn't a very strong position at all. There's multiple angles that can be held on the stairs, and they can be chucked over quite simply. That's why I love this bomb site.
Moving on now into the second half of the round. We have seen an early death win out from PACT onto Christmas. I'm not going to be too pleased about that, as that is going to mean that the majority of the floor in Lounge is going to remain intact, and that could provide Bibu a bit of a safe haven to operate from and Bandit trick from. And if the wall hasn't been opened at this point, it can be difficult for teams to try and execute on, because the players just feel so safe on defense, rotating in between garage and cache. Optic's still going to be holding an angle onto sort of Lounge area, but I think it's going to be a fruitless endeavor at this point, because it doesn't appear as though anybody is actually playing downstairs. Possibly not working off any information, and this is something that we've seen time and time again from PACT, is that, yeah, he's holding the flank, but there's nobody that's going to be in those rooms that are waiting to come out. There's only one way you can get inside of stockroom downstairs, and that's through the door. You can rotate through bar, but if you know that is going to be the case, there's no point in playing in down there. Thermite is going to be a really casualty, as this does seem to be going heavily in Vitality's way. But PACT are able to reply with one of their own, quickly traded out by Sneaky. 4 versus 2 now with 20 seconds left. Optic going to push up cache stairs, and he does find the kill over onto Brid. 3-2 now in favor of Vitality. Darius in a great position over inside of construction, just waiting to push on through. Lifeline comes out. Optic gets another kill. Sneaky, however, trades it out just before. It's going to be down to Optic to withstand and clutch a 1 versus 2 with 4 seconds left. I'm sure that he's not going to manage it, but I'd love to see it if it does happen. Unfortunately for Optic, Spark will close that round out for Vitality. And, well, another great round there coming out for those players. So, moving into match point now. 6-2 in favor of Vitality. And, well, I think that this is only going to go one way. We kind of knew at the start of tonight how this was going to fare. We knew that Vitality were going to have a relatively easy job of things, and they kind of proved that to us tonight. PACT have shown some glimmers of brilliance, and I don't think that the scoreboard is as reflective on their performance as it could be. There's certainly a couple of rounds there that they could have won, but Vitality so far have just proved themselves to be the better team, and that's why they currently sit on match point. They're going to be taking us to gym and bedroom now, and let's see if they're able to close this one out. I do believe that we've been having a couple of problems with the demo's audio, so I think you're just going to be stuck with me for the time being, but I'm going to do my very best for you guys watching home. You can see the scoreboard there. Got Bibu clutching things up with 11 kills. Sneaky 8 kills, 4 assists. Been a great job for his team there. This time is up to go onto the Alibi. Alibi, not an operator that we see picked all too often for the ability. As we all know, the Prismers, they can be great. You know, they're a good bit of fun. You can place them in front of doorways, you can place them in front of windows. You can get a good idea of where people are coming from. The pinging system, I think it's exactly where it needs to be. I'm not saying that it's weak, but it doesn't really provide you all that much information to work from. Usually if you see somebody picking alibi, it's because they quite like the submachine gun that she brings. And of course, 2 impact grenades are going to make things very easy for you to make some rotations as well. There are a couple of windows on this objective, so maybe we'll see some prisoners placed over there. Optic, not wasting all too much time. He's going to be looking to push on to CCTV cache with his support from Sledge. I like the Sledge pick for this. You're going to be able to open up CCTV wall very quickly, and you can see we've got a 3-man push now coming through. Darius is going to be looking to maybe use some of his utility to open up this hard wall. See there, one of the prisoners has already been taken out as well. Heavy 5-man push now coming through from PACT. They really are looking to take control of this area. The impact trick comes through, and it's going to mean that only one of the X-Kairos pellets is going to actually detonate. To be forced to another as well. The grenade kill comes through from Christmas. I do like this push, but I just think that PACT are really overcommitted to it. It would have been really nice for these guys to bring a thermite and to try and get jacuzzi wall open as well, or get some pressure out onto the windows. They do have full control of CCTV room right now, so they can operate outside of the windows with a lot of surety that they're not going to get flanked from CCTV. I'm going to have to watch, obviously, challenging onto the window, but I think that that's going to be a pretty good play at this moment in time. We are going to see Thermite now rotate over and look to try and beat off this bandit that is bandit tricking. It's going to be a tricky job on his own purely because of the utility that has been deployed. Optic, sorry, now has been allowed to get onto the balcony, and he's going to look to try and remove this bandit from being able to trick. We've also got Thatcher in place as well to try and remove any of the bandit batteries. This is a really good push coming out from PACT, but it's just about 45 seconds too late. We're at a minute now, and this is the kind of progress that you want to be making a lot earlier on into the round. That being said, Optic's going to open things up with another kill onto the Jaeger. So Jaeger now no longer going to be able to make that rotation. You can see the bulletproof camera there placed absolutely perfectly from the team players on Vitality. The hatch being opened downstairs as well. That window a little bit dangerous. Sledge is going to push into the Mystic. Is he going to be able to find the kill on the top? He is. PACT are not out of this just yet. 2 versus 5 as the challenge comes through from Optic onto the bandit. Brid going to grab one of his own onto the Sledge in the meantime. Spark is getting a lot of pressure now. He has been forced off the wall as bandit. He does manage to find himself 1 down, but he's very low hit points indeed at this moment in time. If he gets creative here, he could have a field day and he could pick up a good few kills. Just hiding behind the mattress at this moment in time, but PACT, they're going to find him, and Deep is going to be the man that gets the kill. Brid left with it all to do. Aura's going to close him out. A great round there from PACT. They did a very good job of composing themselves. Now I gave them a little bit of a hard time mid-round in terms of how slowly they seem to be executing onto things, but it played into their hands in the end because it really forced Vitality to rush around a little bit as the defenders in those final few seconds. So as we said earlier, don't count PACT out just yet. They are definitely here to play, and they're going to pick up a couple more rounds. 6-3 now will be the round count. Vitality on match point yet again. Let's see what they're able to show us. They're going down to Church and Arsenal, so they've got a much better chance now of clutching out this victory in this first game for this evening, as we do know that Church and Arsenal, they did defend it very, very well last time. And Jim, it can be seen as a bit of an off bomb site pick. Moving on into the round, and see the scoreboard there. Optic doing a great job for his team, got 9 kills and 4 assists. A good spread of kills really on both sides. I think it tells a fair story. Vitality obviously got a couple more kills, just because we want more rounds at this moment in time. But I'm sure that we're going to see PACT give us their best showing. Last time we saw PACT attacking onto this bomb site, it was just a little bit lackluster. They didn't leave themselves in the best position to be able to execute onto site, and they ended up trickling quite a lot of players through Memorial doorway on into Church, and that was just a very easy angle for the Vitality players to hold, and they did a very good job of cleaning up the kills as they came through. I think this time PACT just need to show us what they showed us last round. They they had a full commitment to the CCTV last time, and I liked it. Everyone was working together and they managed to get the control they needed to. But they rotated out again at the perfect time. And that's what we really need to see from PACT this time. We need to see them commit to whatever they want to do, whichever wall they're looking to get open, however they want to take it, but then be able to rotate off that and send a couple of players to just get that 2 dynamic approach and to just get a bit of a better attack going on, because start attacking a team like Vitality, from a focused direction, it's going to be very easy for those guys to just turn attention and to really focus on where you're coming from. You're going to need to hit them with the old bait and switch. You're going to need to hit them in one place, church wall, for example, and then look to get tunnel open, look to get kitchen control. Tunnel's something that's, you know, quite often overlooked. Pushing a Monty down the tunnel, especially if you've got sort of an IQ or something like that working with it, it's going to be able to get rid of all the goo mines that could be in tunnel along the way, get control of kitchen hatch. All of a sudden, it becomes very difficult for the players to operate safely inside of armory downstairs. And, you know, a push can come through. So there are multiple different ways to attack onto this objective. And I think we commented on it before when Demo was still with us. It's one of the reasons why this is one of the, you know, I think one of the better maps at the moment. So you just throw out multiple different ways on how you can attack and defend both bomb sites. Optic there, just going to be looking for a kill over onto Blue. He gets himself in his drone. Good control has been taken so far from PACT. They've done, you know, the typical PACT thorough roam clear going through upstairs. I'm not sure that they need to at this moment in time, as they do kind of know that there's going to be no one from Vitality playing up there, and that's something that you could maybe look to do with the drone in the early stage of the round, or maybe even the prep phase. Just get a couple of good static drones set up. We're going to see a grenade come down from Christmas. Quite managed to land the kill shot, but I think we've got a good bit of damage there over on Reboot. Nonetheless, still got another grenade in his pocket, so still the option to be able to chuck a bit more damage down range. The kitchen hatch will be open, and with no pulse below, it's going to be difficult for Vitality to look to clear anybody out of kitchen. They're going to look to waiting for anybody on PACT to drop the hatch. Wall could maybe be playing up there, but I think his blackout camera got destroyed upstairs in kitchen. He's still got a C4 in hand. He could make a good judgment based off sound. Spark looking to keep control of this church wall for as long as he possibly can, not to push down Blue tunnel, but that is halted by a goo mine. 2 quick kills coming out there in either direction. Darius grabbing Bibu, Spark trading things straight back out, Qual grabbing one onto Optic, and with 3 versus 3 now, just as I'm saying that, Deep is going huge. No, but Spark, he doesn't manage to whip round quick enough. The diffuser is going down. It's all down to Qual. Deep picks up his 3rd kill of the round. And well, the round that didn't look like it was going to go to PACT's way, they just executed onto site with perfection. Great round there coming out from PACT. Still on match point for Team Vitality, 6-4 now. PACT are starting to build that momentum. And those guys are going to be feeling great about themselves because Vitality is the #1 seed at this moment in time, or #1 in the leaderboard. So PACT, you know, they're going to be feeling pretty good. They've got this momentum building in. Vitality are looking to go down to Church and Arsenal room yet again. It's difficult to say because Church and Arsenal, we talk about it time and time again. The bloodbath in the final 30 seconds. We didn't see anything different that round. We saw, you know, PACT take good control, holding angles for a lot of the round, getting what they needed to be open. They got good control of kitchen, were able to open that hatch. They were able to get themselves into Moto and root out defenders playing behind the bar. A couple of mistakes off the side of Team Vitality, but PACT capitalized on them perfectly. It's not beyond the realms of possibility to see a draw at this moment in time. I think it all sort of hinges on this round. You can see the overextension. We've got Bibu and Spark both looking to play upstairs with Jacuzzi wall reinforced. So maybe identifying that PACT are going for quite a thorough roam up there, and maybe just trying to catch them out at this stage and to waste a little bit of time and to grab an early kill, because I think if Vitality are able to waste even 30 seconds upstairs, longer than it has been taking PACT to drone things out and to gain that control usually, they could be set to do very well in this round, because it has been something that the PACT have struggled with, is time management. It has been working for them so far. If they get caught up upstairs where they're maybe not expecting to be, they might not leave themselves with enough round in the mid and late rounds to execute onto the site. So we'll have to see how things go. Christmas this time switching over onto the Ash. It's going to allow him a little bit, it's going to allow him a little bit of a better gun. He has been going so far for sort of the sledge pick, which has been working for them on this top floor probably. Drone work coming out now, making sure that no one is actually playing inside the gym. I'm not actually too sure where the players are vitality rift kind of just reinforced and then dipped out. I think BB was playing on main stairs and he will be picked up there by Aura on the thermite. So he's wasted a little bit of time and a little bit of utility, more importantly. We've seen the exothermic charges be used to open up into Jacuzzi Wall, which has now allowed Christmas the ability to be able to get himself in, drone out, and get control of main stairs. I'm not sure that kill would have come through without the use of the thermite charge, but it is a shame that one of the thermite charges had to be used there because it is going to limit their potential for opening things up when the time does come. Christmas now making sure he checks every corner again upstairs. He's going to want to really look to focus his attention elsewhere on the site. He knows he's just droned it, but with the rotate in between construction, I think he's just doing his due diligence at this point to make sure that he doesn't get caught out. Man is going to slow him down momentarily. With around a minute and 10 seconds left on the clock, actually going to start opening up the kitchen hatch. Christmas not finding any joy there with the vertical angle downstairs. Spark actually returns fire with one of his own, so Christmas there just struggling through the hole that he made for himself. I don't think he's had that much of an impact this round on the Ash. It was much better to see him on the sledge. Would have been able to open up a little bit more of that floor and maybe throw some grenades down. We could see some good grenade damage coming through in the previous round as well. Focus now going to be turned over onto Church Wall as Darius has dropped the Moto hatch. I do believe we have a bandit tricking. Aura going to pick one of his own onto Spark. Still looking pretty good for PACT there. To execute in the final few seconds. I think we may be seeing another round go their way. That bandit tricked set of Hibana pellets isn't going to do them any favours though. That is going to slow down the push that's coming through from Church Wall. Sneaky grabs one onto the Hibana until it's a large extent. Brid with one of his own. All goes down to the side. 2 seconds left on the clock. Is Optic going to find the kill? No. Team Vitality, by the skin of their teeth, are going to win that last round. They are going to win the series, but it could have gone a different way entirely. PACT showing great resolve there, great ability to be able to clutch up rounds when it counts, but they just didn't do enough on their defensive phase, I don't think, and they left themselves too much to do on attack against a team such as Team Vitality. And as you can see there, scoreboard tells the story. Sneaky, Bibu and Spark all coming in clutch for their team. I think it was the result that we expected, but maybe not in the fashion that we expected it. It was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. To see that come out in the scoreline that it did, kind of surprised me. In some of the rounds, as we commented on in the game, some of the rounds really weren't as close as the scoreboard suggested. There was one round in particular on CCTV and Cash that really could have gone PACT's way, and I think we could have been looking at sort of a 7-5 there, really, or maybe even a draw on a different day. But that's going to do it for the first game. We are going to take a very short break while we get the next game all set up for you. Once again, apologies that you were stuck with me for the latter half of that round, as Demo was just having a couple of problems with it. But we will be back very shortly, and we have got plenty more games for you this evening, so make sure you stay tuned.